It's Thursday night down on the little farmer's farm, and we're still in Europe. Enjoy.
So, last night I was watching Mark at Allotment Diggers, and he was doing his spuds in the big buckets, and I thought I'll have a bit of that. And he kind of parts berries, the big 35 litre buckets that he got from a car boot sale. He got 9 of them, and he got a 30 litre one as well, and they paid a £5 for them for the 10 buckets. And anyway, so I'm going to have a go at it today. I've only got 2 of the big, well, I've only got 2 30 litre buckets, and I've got like a planted as well. I'll show you. So here we are, and they're going to be partially buried in the soil. They've all got drainage holes in and everything, so that's fine. I'm just going to put the compost in. The compost that I've got is not very good. It's not nutritious compost. It's that Asda's multi-purpose compost, 60 litres when filled. It's crap, really. It's rubbish. So I'm going to enrich that a little bit below the spud level, or where the spud's bum is going to sit, with a handful of that, a handful of that, and a handful of that, all sprinkled out in the first sort of 4 inches at the bottom of these buckets, and then up as we go. I'm going to leave the normal compost, but he did them in layers. He did like 2, about 3 inches off the bottom, and then covered them over, and then on, so it's like 1 there and 1 there, and then he put 1 there and 1 there at a bit of a higher level. So I'm going to give that a whirl. So there's going to be 4 spuds going in there, and see how that pans out. Same with this one. This looks bigger, but it's actually narrower at the bottom, so it's probably about the same literage of around about 30 litres for each one, and we'll see how we get on with that. So I'll crack on with it. I'll show you. So there's layer 1. As I say, it's had a handful of bloodfish and bone, a handful of bone meal for the roots, all for the roots, and then for the actual plant growth, a handful of this stuff, the 6X, for your nitrogen, for your foliage and plant growth. So let's see how that pans out. So I'm going to put another layer on that just to cover up those that you can see there, and then I'm going to put those little babies on top as well. You can see they're chitted. They're all chitted up. Good stout little chits on them. It's a devil one there. There's its bum. Okay. So they're going to go in now, into there. So they're about 3.5 inches shoved in, probably about down to 3 inches where its bum is, and all the nutrient feed and everything going in there. So another layer is going to go on top of that, of the same. They're going to go on, and I'll cut back to that next bit shortly. Yeah, and so because the first 2 were in line with the handles, the second 2 are perpendicular, I suppose, are they, to that. And yeah, so we'll see how we get on. I'm going to top that off now and leave them for about 4 weeks to see what happens. Same with this one, and same with the end one. So I'll crack on, I'll show you when they're all filled up. Alright. Okay. So there's 4 potatoes in each one of them. So I'll be looking hopefully for getting 40 decent sized spuds out of those. Sort of roasty potatoey size, because the main crop's them. What sort with the angle? So they're the Desiree main croppers. Then, and there's 12 in, so we're hoping for 40. Sorry, we're hoping for 120 out of the 3 buckets, but about a good 40 hopefully per bucket that are going to be sort of medium baked potato size, good for chipping, about 4 inches long by about 4 inches round. I'll just get them watered up. I'm going to put on full tilt of the 6 litre watering can, I'm going to give each one of them 12 seconds at full tilt. Yeah, so each one of those has had about 2 litres of water, which we're hoping will wick its way down to the waiting spuds below and kick their bums into life, get them roots off and running. See, the compost itself was only slightly damp when I put it in there. It wasn't wet. It wasn't sort of like you squeeze it in your hand and it sticks together. It was too crumbly, so it does need the water to go in there. And then I'm just going to leave them in the black tubs and see how they get on. So we're looking at 90 litres there. To be fair, it took 2 bags of the herring compost to, or almost 2 bags of the herring compost, 50 litre bags, to fill them up. They're £2.49 a bag, so you're talking a £5 there already. The buckets I've already got, but there's about 50p's worth of that, 50p's worth of that. Well, no, there's not. There's probably a grand total of about 60p's worth of stuff. The bone meal, the fish blood and bone, and that's 6x. So you're looking there at about £5.60 minus the cost of the buckets. Those 2 buckets on the on either side of the big one in the middle didn't cost me anything, and the big one in the middle we got about 4 or 5 years ago. So I've had a good use out of that. I think it cost about £5 at the time from B&M bargains. So, you know, we'll call it £2 a bucket. So if you can get like, I'm hoping to get about £5, £6 of spuds out of each one of them, if not more. I'm hoping to get about £10 of spuds out of each one of them, but we'll see how we get on. If I get £6 out of each one of them, £18 out of those 3, I'll be happy with that. I won't be too disappointed with that. Alright. A bit of a ragtag mix of the odd-shaped potatoes. The ones that didn't really pass muster have gone into there. There's about 10 gone in to that trench, and a couple of handfuls of that stuff in the base, along with some bloodfish and bone to get the roots on the go, and then again covered it over with a little bit of compost mixed in, and then bedded the potatoes on top of that. Now they're only down about 8 inches. I think that's the way forward, around about 8. But they're down about under the level of that, the flat level of that, about 4 or 5 inches, and then it's mounded up about another 3, so it's about 8 altogether. And as they come through, I may mound them up further. But they're a mixture of all the different spuds that we've got really in there. It'd be a bit of a patchwork of spuds. I've had a bit of a look underneath here to see how the Sarpo Mira are getting on, because I put Sarpo Mira in there, and I think there's 12 plants in that from memory, in 2 rows, 2 long rows I put under there. But I think I might have buried them a bit deep, because they do take a while to get going, the Sarpo Mira, so I'm hoping they're going to be okay. They're a main crop, and they were put in probably about 3 weeks ago, St. Patrick's Day. They went in, and I've had a bit of a dig down, and you're going down about 4 or 5 inches before you get to the chits that are coming up, the actual plant itself coming up. So I'm thinking that's going to be probably about another 2 or 3 weeks before they start showing the face on the surface. But we'll see how we get on. You never know, do you? I'm going to give that another going over, that bed, and add some organics to it as well, because it's looking a bit dry. It's looking a bit clayey, that. Needs some organics going in there, needs some couple of handfuls of 6X, probably. A good handful of 6X every metre. So probably about 4 mixed in with some of the Verve compost, I think, to sop it off like we did with that one over there. That top bed on the lady farmer's side. Got to decide what we're doing with this area here. It's looking like a bit of a tip at the minute, isn't it, up here? So I need to get some tidying up. Then I keep saying that, get some tidying up done. But I'm such a get that I don't. I get sidetracked into planting spuds and watering things up, which I've done as well. I've moved some of the more colder loving veggies down here because they were starting to look a bit wilty. I'm probably going to have to come down for about 20 minutes each night and just check on them and make sure they're not wilting in the heat and stuff like that, because they're not going to be far off ready for going out, those. There's pak choy there and cauliflower. So, yeah, that's going to be getting ready to go out shortly, because I don't want it wilting. And I think in that one that I've got at the top, the one that I built, the greenhouse that I built, with the polycarbonate twin wall, I think it feels quite a bit warmer in there when you go in. It was about 3 degrees actually warmer in there when I came on site than it was in the greenhouse. Anyway, we're set for a cold night tonight. It's going to be about 2 degrees. So I'll make sure everything's locked up, nice. Yeah, sorted. I'll leave you with the sunset. Have a wonderful week, everyone. See you later. These need to go out, especially the pak choy, because it's suffering in here. It's too warm for it in here, definitely. It's time for that to go out. And I'm going to put 12 of the cauliflowers out, and I'm going to put 24 of those pak choy out. That's going to be Friday night. The lettuce needs to go out as well, because it's definitely outliving its or outgrowing its cells. A lot of this stuff is ready to go out, so I'm going to put them here in this long bed. I've just added a bit more organic matter in the form of 2 60-litre bags of that stuff from Asda. So there's a £5's worth there. It was 4 for a tenner when I went down, not 3 for a tenner. I got a deal on it. I think it might have been for that weekend only. It was last weekend. Excuse me, nose. It's hay fever, I think. Refuse to admit it's hay fever though. Anyway, so there you go. So that's been prepared. It's had some every metre, that being a metre, one of them sections has had a handful of 6X, a handful of bloodfish and bone, and about half a bag of that, so 25 litres of that for the organics. So that's what we've put into the. So we're hoping that's going to assist it, because it's quite dry and claggy. Not claggy, what do you call it? I mean, these bloody lumps of soil, because it was just topsoil that got put in here last year. Look at that, that's not good, is it? So it needs the organics in there to stop the dustiness and the sort of overall stoniness of it. So tomorrow night, I'm hoping Steve's going to be on, because I can borrow his soil miller, his Wolfgarten soil miller, and give that another going over, a good going over, to try and get that tilled a lot lighter and finer. And then some of the babies out of the greenhouse are going to be going into there. Yeah, so I'm going to get 12 of the collies in there, probably in this first section here. And then the pak choy in there, or most of it. Now the lettuces are going to be an issue. I don't think I'm going to have room for the lettuces, unless I suppose I could interplant the lettuces with the cauliflower, because by the time the lettuce is ready, we're only going to be talking about 4 weeks, and the collies won't be too big by that time, I'm guessing. I'll just cut them as they come, actually. When it gets crowded out, I can just cut them out, can't I, the lettuces, and leave the collies to grow on. That's what I'll do. So I'll put 6 collies either side in this area, which is like a 6-foot bed, and just cut them as they get crowded. I'm going to have to put them in sort of I think I'll have to put them in a sort of dice pattern, you know, the 5-point dice pattern. I'll think about it tomorrow. And probably the same with the pak choi. The pak choi grows really quickly. At the stage that it's at now, that pak choi will be fully formed in the next 5 weeks, 5-6 weeks. That pak choi will be ready for harvesting. They're fully formed. And you can cut them as young ones as well if it's getting a bit crowded, so that's no problem. I'll think about it for tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day, boys and girls, isn't it, eh?
Bomb in your photograph.
Oh, go on then. Hey, Steve. Yeah, so that's us for today. I'm going to get off now, get me tea. It's about 7 o'clock. I've only been up for an hour, you know, just for a bit of a potter about and just to do a little bit. Which is what you need to do. Just come up every night for an hour if you can, or half an hour. Just do something while you're up, you know. Get a bit done. So yeah, I'm just going to clear away now and get off. It'll be about 6:30, 7:15, something like that when I get back and get my tea. It's like looking in the mirror. Alright, so that's us. So I'll see you, if I don't see you tomorrow night, I probably won't see you tomorrow night because I'll be watching Richard and Paul if they're doing their live chat. And Erica at the Little Welsh Garden, she usually does a live chat on a Friday. I was watching Ryan as well at A Little Dirt Never Hurt, coming on with his with the land that he's improving over there in Canada, and his hoop tents and everything. Check him out. A Little Dirt Never Hurt. He's ace. He's funny as well. But he's really cracking on. He's got a small farm there that he's just... you'll have to watch it. Just watch it. Watch Ryan at A Little Dirt Never Hurt. And also watch Erica. And watch Alternative Smallholding. And watch Allotment Diggers. And watch Nigel down at... No, I've said it now. I'm crap. I'm rubbish, me. I'll put it in the link below. Davey, I'll put them in the links below. You'll hear me talking about them as we progress. It's been a really long day today. I was in work at 6 o'clock this morning and I haven't stopped. I didn't stop till about 5 o'clock and then come straight down here. Got changed at work and came straight down here to Eden. And I'll leave you with the sunset again as well. Alright, catch you later.